How about that one?
That's our new leaders right there.
Big Silly!
University of Montevallo, 24-96. National champions, Wallace State, Briar and Clinton. Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this week's episode of the Rapala We Are Collegiate Bass Podcast. Today, going to be talking with the team from Missouri State University, hosting the Missouri State University College Fishing event next week at Lake of the Ozarks, March 15th, 2023. Happening over there right before the MLF event. If you're interested in more details, go over to collegiatebasschampionship.com and just stay tuned right here because we're about to talk about it. Zach, we'll bring you in, man. We've got Zach Adamec, Grant Dohle, and Alex Wood with us. Zach, we're speaking with you first here. Talk a little bit about the event, man. Anybody that needs any more information, more details and stuff, let them know what's happening there next week at Lake of the Ozarks.
Absolutely. First and foremost, thank you for having us on this podcast. We're honored to be here and promote our team and our event. As far as the event goes, it's March 15th, Wednesday, before the Friday MLF event on Lake of the Ozarks out of PB2. It's an $80 entry fee, $20 side pot big bass, and we'll have sponsor packs as well with bait bundles for first place out of the money as well. So we're expecting a pretty good turnout. Lake's fishing tough right now, but there's some big fish to be caught, and so it should be a good event. Right now, we're expecting upwards to 30 to 35 boats right now, so it's fixing to be a really good turnout and definitely a good event to double up on some points along with the MLF event on Friday.
Definitely a good opportunity to make the most of your travel budget, time out on the water. Most teams and schools that are coming to the MLF event will already be there. Take advantage of both while you're there in the area at Lake of the Ozarks. As Zach was talking about, quite a few teams registered. Get over to collegiatebasschampionship.com. Go to the schedule tab. You'll see the information there listed for this event hosted by Missouri State that will be eligible for points towards the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia. Grant, real quick, man, just as a club, what kind of work goes into being able to host these school-run tournaments? We see it because we're here helping you guys, getting everything set up, sanctioning it for points, making sure everything's in place, getting the results, adding them to our School of the Year standings, you name it. But from a school club perspective, from the idea to the execution of it, what happens in that in-between time to get all this in place?
Yeah, so we have a lot of help from a handful of our sponsors to get everything going like we want it and to be ran as professionally as possible. We try to, have a guy come in that's not fishing the tournament to run it. This week we're going to have a gentleman from one of our sponsors that's going to come in and do pretty much everything. He's going to have, the scales. He's going to pretty much just operate the whole deal. That way our guys are stress-free during the tournament, but as far as like the preparation leading up to it, we try to make it to where the guys that are fishing it, they can make the most out of it, getting the SOI points, and then as far as like the incentive type where we can have like bait bundles and other options like that.
Alex, let's talk a little bit about the significance of an event like this for y'all's club at Missouri State. You'll have to work, put in the effort, do the fundraising. These public institutions, for the most part, operate all the same. I was a part of one myself when I was in college in a school-ran club and bass fishing team, and you got to get out and do the work at the grassroots level. You've got to raise the funds. You got to make the name for yourself, create that notoriety, and so forth. How important is an event like this from a fundraising standpoint, from a publicity standpoint? You guys are on here talking with us. Other schools are hearing about it, finding out about these tournaments. Just kind of talk about the overall benefit to the team that this school-run event provides.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely huge for our team. We're not, one of the most well-funded bass fishing teams in the country. So these type of events, they bring us a lot of notoriety and, obviously funds to help our team travel and do all the things we want. Obviously it's a big event being in our home state, kind of our, home area. So just to get a lot of guys from different schools and stuff, seeing our team, seeing how well, we run events and different stuff like that, it's really good for us.
Last question here about the tournament before we kind of change topics and get to talking about the rest of the season here. Zach, anybody you want to shout out from your university, the guys in the club that are helping put all this together and sponsors that are making this all possible for y'all, give you a chance to shout them out here real fast.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've got a great, roster of sponsors that have helped us out all year long. Baitworks, Boatworks, Valor Baits, AFTCO, State Park Marina, Weiss Insurance, Progressive, and many others. Professor Phelps over at the school, our club advisor, and obviously our parents and professors and family members and friends that allow us to do what we do and help us along the way. It's definitely huge, and we couldn't do it without them.
Missouri State University hosting a school-run event that's going to be eligible for points towards the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia in a little less than a week now, March 15th, happening right before the MLF event, also to take place at Lake of the Ozarks. Get on our website, collegiatebasschampionship.com, for more details. Contact information's over there as well. Hit up these guys on social media with the Missouri State fishing team if you have any other questions. We're talking with Zach Adamec, Grant Dohle, and Alex Wood. Grant, next question I'll send your way here in just a minute once I get it set up. Looking at the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia, Missouri State sitting in 29th. Missouri State's a team that never has really pushed towards the top of the standings, but are always in the conversation. That top 25, it's a notable group to be amongst. You've got teams and clubs from all across the country, some that are self-funded, some that have coaches, you name it. It's an awesome group to be a part of. It means that you're out there week in and week out across the nation being competitive, and that's what Missouri State's done over the last several years. Sitting 29th right now, the goal, I'm sure, to get inside the top 25. Grant, talk a little bit about the season so far and how y'all feel about it and what you want to accomplish going forward.
Yeah, we had a really good fall, or a really strong fall. I think we even slid in that top 25 for a little bit, but after Florida we fell out. We had a tough tournament, but as far as not making a big push, we don't really have the numbers on our team to be able to send boats across the country to all the little school run events like we were holding on the 15th. But that's just part of it, and yeah.
These little events, as you're talking about, one thing I want to hit on before we move forward, the school run tournaments, there's opportunity for hosting points as well. So if you're a school that's looking to host an event this year, get some extra points, get some notoriety for your club, you can apply for those. Go over to collegiatebasschampionship.com again, or reach out to us, college@caricotv.com, and we can get you set up to be able to have the opportunity to sanction an event like Missouri State is. Alex, kind of continuing the talk here about the School of the Year race, man, how much of that factors into the decision-making for the club at y'all's meetings and things like that as you game plan the year? Hey, we're going to go to these tournaments, and then kind of doing some math on how that factors in and the importance of, double points. Our championship this year will be triple points, and these school run events too carry some weight as we've been talking about so far. What kind of game plan does Missouri State put together, say at the start of the year when a new school year starts, to be able to be successful and prioritize something like the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia?
Yeah, like we talked about with our school kind of having a smaller number of dudes, we really try to get a lot of guys to those, double point and triple point events, like the Pickwick Slam and stuff. We try to have, majority of our boats go to those. But then a lot of these tournaments like these are, on Lake of the Ozarks, our home bodies of water, these are huge points tournaments for us because usually we have a lot of guys, usually we'll have some up by the top, some in the middle, and some down farther. But usually we do pretty good in these, Missouri tournaments and local tournaments. So we try to get a lot of boats in these and then a lot of boats in the more SLI point tournaments because we don't have as many guys. So, yeah.
Yeah, being able to maximize those opportunities is really key. Zach, yourself, you've been involved with the club there for a while at Missouri State. What have you seen over the last couple of years as y'all kind of carry on what's been set forth and maybe even build upon it and try to improve it as y'all leave here in the next couple of years and graduate? Talk a little bit about the program since your time at school until now. You've seen some successes, failures, things you like, and stuff like that. Kind of talk about your experience and the growth and accomplishments of the club.
Absolutely, man. I'm really, really proud to lead this team as the president. I'm proud of these guys. And I'm honored to, come before great alumni and, donors and other sponsors as well. One of the main things is, we've always, like you said, it has been in, the topic of discussion for that top 25. That's been a goal every single year, dividing and conquering, figuring out ways to get points locked in. Yeah, definitely. I've seen just in the last year as president that our team has evolved, and our drive and our effort and our determination to be the best and be of discussion every single season. one of the main things too is I've seen, an increased number of younger anglers with interest in coming to Missouri State. We've got a great program going on, great things going, and man, we're coming, and we're ready to get out there and battle and get out there and make the most of every single event. But yeah, Missouri State's a great place to be, and definitely is a place to consider to come fish.
Several more events left on the schedule here this spring before we wrap up the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia at Lake Hartwell in Anderson, South Carolina. In that meantime, Grant, talk a little bit about what Missouri State is planning to attend. What's y'all's schedule look like and the prospects over the next 2.5, not quite 3 months as we round out this 2022-23 season for the ACA? What do y'all have looking at, obviously these two events next week, your school run event and the MLF tournament there at Lake of the Ozarks. Past that, what other events are on y'all's radar going forward?
So all of us are confirmed into all the Bassmaster events, so we plan to at least have a handful of boats at all of those. One of the big things that we've been talking about is trying to get into that top 25 so we can get that extra wild card boat into the national championship at Hartwell, so we can, maybe try to make a big push there. But as far as like the events that are on our radar, all the major ones, and then if a school run event where we can get some extra points, some bonus points, that may pop up, that we're definitely interested in going to those as well.
That's awesome. We're going to wrap it up here. Alex, the last question's coming your way, kind of building on what Grant's talking about. You've got your events set out on the calendar. You know where you're going to go and what you want to compete in over the next few weeks and months. What would be a successful end to this season? Get to the end of May. We're at Lake Hartwell for the Boat U.S. Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops. Season's coming to an end for the ACA. What would y'all like to see happen between now and then, or maybe even there that week, that you can kind of build onto the next season and call this year a success?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing, like we've mentioned a couple times, we definitely want to be in the top 25. Just having your name on that list is something very big and something that people see. So we definitely want to have that. And then I would say we definitely want to have, a handful of guys qualify for some national championships, kind of get to that higher level, get our name out there in that aspect. And then I would also say it'd be, really nice for our team to have, one group of guys on our team have either a win or a top 10 or a top 5, something really big to kind of, get our school and our name out there a little bit more.
That's going to wrap up our conversation with Zach, Grant, and Alex from 29th ranked Missouri State University. Guys, thanks for joining us here on the show today. If you're looking to compete in their event next week at Lake of the Ozarks, get over to collegiatebasschampionship.com. Be sure to register, get signed up, and go over and support those guys. Thanks again, gentlemen. We'll see you guys out on our trail. Best of luck to the Missouri State team and you three for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Fishing is all about connecting with nature. Then grabbing nature by the lip and holding it up for a picture.
To fishermen and other liars, the time you spent on the docks, the banks, the boats, the lines you cast, and the hooks you set. These moments you share with the people you love, the fish you never forget, and the tales that get taller with every retelling. Make memories that'll last a lifetime with Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.